Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Real Wisdom Artificial Intelligence. Today is December 12th, and the Sadhguru Insight on the Miracle of Mind app. Once you experience yourself beyond your physical and mental limitations, there is no such thing as fear. So, for those of you who have followed along this journey, you would remember that at the start of this journey and how the wisdom hierarchy came about, besides its origin from the name RASHMI, real, authentic, sustainable, human multimodal intelligence. The other part was this wisdom hierarchy concept that I came about based on reflections from Maslow's hierarchy. So, wisdom hierarchy is knowledge, intelligence, wisdom. That's the hierarchy. And I think all of you are familiar with Maslow's hierarchy. This past weekend, through my travels, and I've talked about this in my last version of the newsletter, I happened to meet this self-made entrepreneur who's living on a fairly holistic, self-contained eco farm on the outskirts of Tarifa. It was very inspiring meeting him, and we spent 4 hours discussing about evolution of societies and what the future of work might look like, talking about wisdom, artificial intelligence, material realities, immaterial realities. I've talked about that at length in the newsletter that I released earlier this Monday. However, one other thing that Johnny mentioned during our conversation was that Maslow's hierarchy of needs is widely misunderstood by most people, while the visual representation of it is a pyramid. However, Maslow never intended to convey that you first have to fulfill your the physiological and psychological needs, and only then you can move to the higher order needs: love and belonging, esteem, and self actualization. That is how most people understand it. And what ends up happening is because of strong identification with our physiological and psychological needs, which give a sense of fear, which keeps us in a state of lack of safety and security, we stay trapped in the lower two needs for majority of our lifetimes and most of the human civilization. However, the way Maslow intended to really convey about these needs was that yes, they are higher order needs, but it doesn't mean that you only go towards the higher order needs after you feel you have satisfied the physiological and psychological needs and you feel safe and secure. That is where our mind plays a lot of tricks on us till we feel safe and secure, and we stay trapped in this mental chatter, the manomaya level of consciousness that we predominantly operate at right now. We don't feel safe. There is a sense of fear. And that is what Sadhguru is talking about. And that is real wisdom. Artificial intelligence can be a wonderful ally in this journey. I think artificial intelligence, if used consciously, can help us get control of our mental chatter and this constant voice in your head that you are not safe, you are not secure. However, if used unconsciously, the reverse will happen because we will feel threatened by artificial intelligence. If we use it as a partner, it can help us get past the physiological and psychological needs which are driven by this voice in our head, which says, I'm not safe, regardless of what your situation may be. So, with that, today's dose of Rashmi is unconscious and conscious intelligence will keep you trapped in the quest for physiological and psychological needs, regardless of your situation in life. Only wisdom can help you operate from a lack of fear and create some separation between you and your mental chatter, craving for physiological and psychological safety constantly. So think about that. I'm sure you have heard this voice in your head, which, regardless of how well you are in terms of your physiological, psychological need, the voice tells you you're not safe. That is fear in action. However, you can get past that. And you can use AI as a co-pilot to get past that. Those are the conscious choices that only you can make. Thank you.